Donald Trump's strength is clear in Florida as Governor Ron DeSantis tries to move past nonsensecasimi, Florida. AP, a booth at the Florida Republican Party's Freedom Summit made swift business of Donald Trump merchandise on Saturday, selling everything from socks to bathtub rubber ducks that paid tribute to the former president. Vendor Peter Crotty also had Ron DeSantis t-shirts, but he discounted those items from their original $25 down to $5, an 80% discount on the Florida governor's name. The excess inventory needed to go, Crotty said. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than already a subscriber? Sign in you are logged in switch accounts. It was just one sign of Trump's strength and DeSantis' challenges in the 2024 Republican primary fight. Barely 2 months from the first nominating ballots being cast, Trump is flaunting his advantages by trying to embarrass the governor in the two rivals' shared home state, where party activists on Saturday cheered any mention of the former president and booed at any criticisms of the GOP 2024 frontrunner. Article continues below. Florida has shown the way forward for the Republican Party, DeSantis told the crowd, drawing applause for a litany of conservative policy victories in Tallahassee. No state has done more to beat the left at the institutional level than we have in the state of Florida. Yet hours before DeSantis took the stage, the Trump campaign announced a slate of endorsements from Florida lawmakers who had previously backed the governor. Trump already had secured support from a majority of Florida's U.S. House delegation. The latest flips, first reported by The Messenger, came 2 days after U.S. Senator Rick Scott, DeSantis' predecessor as governor, announced his support for Trump, and when Scott reaffirmed his choice Saturday, Florida Republicans roared. You might have seen that I endorsed President Trump, Scott said with a smile, pausing for the sustained ovation. I don't think there's any question in my mind. He is the one person running that can really bring strength back to our country. Scott never mentioned DeSantis, another 2024 candidate, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, drew boos when he said Trump, with the baggage of 4 pending indictments, is wrong for the country and his party. You might be interested in, title. December 31, 1969, title. December 31, 1969, go back to New Jersey, some activists yelled. Unbowed, Christie chided his fellow Republicans. Your anger against the truth is reprehensible. Trump was scheduled to conclude the session in a Saturday evening speech. Article continues below. DeSantis did not mention Trump on stage, despite their rivalry growing more personal and crude in recent days. Off stage, the governor downplayed the latest show of Florida support for the former president. This happens in these things, he told reporters, flanked by top legislative leaders, Florida Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez and several sheriffs. We've had flips the other way. In other states, it's a dynamic thing. Politicians do what they're going to do. DeSantis and other candidates were signing qualifying paperwork Saturday for Florida's March 2024 primary, which could prove critical, but only if the governor or other candidates can diminish Trump's strength in the early nominating states that come before. Weakening DeSantis' standing in Florida is a clear objective of the Trump campaign, said Alex Conant, a Republican strategist who worked on the 2016 presidential campaign of Florida Senator Marco Rubio. His entire message is built on the idea that he is a terrific governor. When Republican officials in Florida are choosing Trump over DeSantis, it really weakens the core of DeSantis' pitch. This coming week, DeSantis will join several candidates in Miami for the third Republican debate. Trump will skip, again, and hold a competing event in the nearby suburb of Hialeah. DeSantis was initially expected to be Trump's top rival after winning re-election as governor by a huge margin last November. But DeSantis has struggled since he launched his campaign in May and is a distant second now. A Des Moines Register poll published Monday finds him tied in Iowa with Nikki Haley, the former South Carolina governor who served as UN ambassador under Trump. Both stood at 16%, 27 percentage points behind the former president. Trump has ripped DeSantis as disloyal for running against him, and the Trump campaign has been mocking DeSantis' laugh and interactions with voters. DeSantis has pointed to Trump's gaffes and suggested that Trump no longer has the same energy he once did. Article continues. Below, Trump's allies have boosted headlines suggesting DeSantis wears lifts in his boots. DeSantis told Newsmax that if Donald Trump can summon the balls to show up to the debate, I'll wear a boot on my head. DeSantis' Super Political Action Committee then began selling a set of golf balls with the inscription, "Ron DeSantis has a pair," responded Trump spokesperson Stephen Chung. Ron DeSantis is so broke he needs to sell his balls to strangers in order to make rent and keep the lights on. The governor told reporters Saturday that he just responded to their nonsense. He dismissed trivialities of the campaign as less important than the issues at stake. "We've got a job to do," he said. "We have a country that we have to fight for." The campaign references to male anatomy are reminiscent of another Floridian's presidential bid against Trump. Rubio in 2016 joked about Trump's small hands in response to Trump's personal attacks. Rubio dropped out of the race after losing Florida's primary. State party members gave Trump a symbolic win in September, when they voted against requiring Florida primary candidates to pledge to support the eventual nominee in order to run next March. Trump has refused to take a similar pledge required for candidates to participate in national GOP debates. Joe Gruters, the former chairman of the state party and one of the first Republican Florida lawmakers to back Trump, said he expected there would be additional endorsements from Florida officials, but stressed the risks for those who choose to go against DeSantis, given he will remain governor for the next 3 years. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than. It takes real courage for any member to flip at this point or to come out publicly, he said, accusing DeSantis of being vindictive against those who have chosen to back Trump. A lot of people are still scared to come out. Article continues below. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than ____ Barrow reported from Atlanta. Associated Press writer Jill Colvin in New York contributed to this report.